Everyone, listen to me. Your past is not your prison. It's your professor. You may have made mistakes. You may have failed. You may even be ashamed of things you've done or things that happened to you. But here's the truth. You are not your past, your future. It's still unwritten. And guess what? You hold the pen. The problem is, too many of us stay stuck, replaying old chapters, holding on to pain, regret, or shame like it's part of our identity. But it's not. It's just part of your story, and stories evolve. Your past does not define you. It may have shaped you, but it doesn't own you. Every single person walking this earth has a history. Some carry pain, some carry regret, and some carry memories they wish they could erase. But the truth is, your identity is not chained to the mistakes you've made or the hardships you've faced. It's built on what you decide to do with those experiences. Too many people live their lives as prisoners of their past. They let old failures whisper lies about their worth. They replay painful moments and convince themselves they're not capable of more. But that's not the truth. The truth is, your past is just a chapter in your story, not the whole book. And the beautiful part is, you are still the author. You get to decide who you become. You get to rise, rebuild, and rewrite what happens next. You are not the broken relationship, the failed business, the bad decision, the missed opportunity, or the painful memory. You are who you choose to become in this very moment, based on the lessons you've learned and the courage you're willing to show. That shift in mindset is where freedom begins. Because once you realize your past isn't your identity, you stop dragging it around like baggage. You begin to see yourself as someone with a future that's bigger than your history. People who grow, people who succeed, and people who heal don't do it by denying the past. They do it by releasing the idea that it has the final say. You are allowed to forgive yourself. You are allowed to be different today than you were yesterday. Growth is your right, and transformation is always an option. But it begins with the belief that you're more than what you've been through. Even if you've made mistakes, even if you've failed over and over, even if you feel like you've wasted time, it's not over. The next decision you make can change everything. Don't let one moment, one season, or one person convince you that you're stuck in that version of yourself. You're not stuck, you're scared, but fear is not the truth. The truth is, your future is calling, and it's louder than your past if you'll just listen. Your strength didn't die in your struggle, it was built there. So rise up, breathe deep, and step forward. Your past is a part of you, yes, but it's not all of you. Who you become from this moment forward, that's where the real story begins. Regret is one of the most powerful emotional chains that can keep you stuck in life. It has a way of creeping into your thoughts, replaying old memories, and making you question everything you've done. You think about what you should have done differently, what you could have said, or the choices you didn't make. It becomes a loop, a mental prison that keeps you anchored to a past you can't change. The truth is, no amount of thinking, analyzing, or punishing yourself will ever rewrite what's already happened. Regret convinces you that because something went wrong before, you're not allowed to move forward now, but that's a lie. Living in regret drains your energy. It steals your focus, your confidence, and your ability to dream. When you dwell on what went wrong, you create fear around trying again. You tell yourself, what if I mess up again? Or what if I'm not good enough? So you don't move, you don't take the risk, you don't say yes to the new opportunity. And slowly, without even realizing it, regret transforms into a habit of hesitation and self-doubt. The saddest part is that while you're busy looking backward, life is still moving forward, without you. Everyone has regrets, but not everyone stays trapped in them. The difference between people who grow and those who stay stuck is the decision to use regret as a tool instead of a cage. Regret can teach you. It can show you what matters. It can guide you toward better choices, but only if you let it go and move on. Holding on to regret doesn't honor the past, it dishonors your future. Because the longer you stay focused on what went wrong, the more you miss out on everything that can go right. You have to understand that your past decisions were made with the knowledge, awareness, and courage you had at that time. You did the best you could, even if it wasn't perfect, and that's okay. Growth doesn't come from perfection. It comes from learning, forgiving, and choosing differently next time. That's what makes you powerful, the ability to rise, not avoid failure altogether. So if you're living in regret today, ask yourself, what is it costing you? Your peace, your purpose, your potential. Regret doesn't protect you. It paralyzes you, and the only way to break free is to forgive yourself, accept what's done, and shift your focus to what's next. Your next step matters far more than your last mistake. The past is gone. The only thing that exists now is the decision you make today. You can choose to stay stuck, or you can choose to move forward. One leads to pain, the other to purpose, and the beautiful part is you get to choose. The future is not something that just happens to you. It's something you actively create through the choices you make today. Every decision, no matter how small, is a building block. Your present actions shape your future reality. Too often, people believe that the future is some distant event they have no control over, something that will just arrive one day. But the truth is, your future is created moment by moment, choice by choice. If you want a better future, it starts with better decisions right now. You can't wait for motivation to strike. You can't wait until everything feels perfect or until you feel ready. If you do that, you'll be waiting your entire life. The most successful people, the most fulfilled, the most resilient, they're not lucky. They are intentional. They act even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, even when no one is clapping for them yet. They understand that the actions they take today are investments into the life they want tomorrow. That's the power you hold. You don't need to fix your whole life in one day. You just need to take one small step in the right direction. And then another, and then another. Maybe that step is waking up earlier. Maybe it's working on your goals for 30 minutes. Maybe it's making one better health choice. Maybe it's reaching out to someone who can help. These small, consistent decisions create momentum, and momentum creates transformation. You need to understand that you are not stuck, you're just not making the right choices consistently, and that's not a judgment. It's an opportunity. It means that your future is still yours to shape, but you have to stop waiting for change and start creating it. Your future doesn't care how many times you've failed. It only responds to the actions you take now. The difference between people who move forward and those who stay stuck isn't talent, intelligence, or luck, it's daily commitment. You can make all the plans in the world, but if you don't take action, nothing changes. The people who succeed are the ones who act. They take responsibility for their lives. They stop blaming the past, their circumstances, or other people, and they focus on what they can control, their decisions today. So if you want a better life, don't overthink it. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Just ask yourself, what can I do today that my future self will thank me for? Then do it. That's how you build a better future, not by waiting, not by wishing, but by doing. The power is always in your present. Use it, because every choice you make is either taking you closer to the life you want or further away. Choose wisely. Choose now. Letting go is one of the hardest, yet most freeing things you can do for your future. When you hold on to pain, guilt, resentment, or anger from the past, you carry a weight that was never meant to come with you into the next chapter of your life. You may not realize it, but every time you replay what hurt you, every time you mentally revisit what went wrong or what someone did to you, you're giving that moment more power than it deserves. You're giving it space in your mind, your heart, and your present, even though it belongs in the past. Growth cannot happen in a place that is cluttered with emotional baggage. Imagine trying to run a race with a backpack full of rocks. That's what it's like when you refuse to let go. You may be moving, but you're doing it with unnecessary strain, and eventually it slows you down, it clouds your judgment, it makes you cautious, doubtful, and emotionally drained. That's why letting go is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's recognizing that your future deserves a stronger, freer version of you, not a version chained to what already happened. So many people think holding on gives them control. They believe that if they keep that pain close, they'll never get hurt again. But the truth is, holding on only keeps you trapped. It doesn't protect you, it limits you. When you let go, you're not forgetting what happened. You're not saying it was okay. You're simply choosing to stop letting it run your life. You're saying, this experience shaped me, but it will not define me. That's a powerful shift. Letting go is an act of self-love. It's giving yourself permission to move forward without dragging the past behind you. It's choosing peace over resentment, growth over pain, and healing over bitterness. When you let go, you open yourself up to new experiences, healthier relationships, and clearer thinking. Your energy becomes focused on creating, building, and becoming instead of surviving or remembering. The process isn't always instant. Sometimes it means forgiving others. Sometimes it means forgiving yourself. Sometimes it's recognizing that an old dream no longer serves the person you've become. But the reward is always the same: freedom. When you let go, you take your power back. You stop being a victim of what happened and start becoming the architect of what's next. Letting go is not forgetting, it's choosing to live fully, without being emotionally anchored to things that no longer serve you. The moment you decide to release what's holding you down is the moment you create space to rise. And rising is your right. So breathe deep, release the weight, and step forward lighter, stronger, and finally free. Because growth doesn't come from what you hold onto. It comes from what you're brave enough to let go of. The future is a place filled with unlimited possibility. But most people never fully embrace it because they are too focused on what went wrong in the past. When you begin to shift your mindset away from past limitations and toward future possibilities, everything begins to change. Possibility is where your power lives. It's where hope begins, where new ideas are born, and where transformation becomes real. No matter how hard your past has been, the future is a space you can shape, and it starts with believing that more is possible for you. The problem is, we are often conditioned to expect the worst. We tell ourselves stories based on what's already happened. If we failed before, we assume we'll fail again. If someone betrayed us, we assume everyone will. If we were rejected once, we fear putting ourselves out there again. But that mindset becomes a cage. It convinces you to stay small, to stay safe, and to stop dreaming. Yet the truth is, the past is not a prediction, it's just information. It doesn't control your destiny unless you let it. When you start believing in possibility, you give yourself permission to hope again. You begin to think bigger. You start asking better questions like, what if it works this time? Or what if I'm stronger now? Or what if this moment is the turning point? These thoughts open doors. They generate momentum, and that momentum gives you the courage to take action, even if the path isn't fully clear yet. Possibility is the foundation of every success story. Every invention, every comeback, every powerful transformation started with someone daring to believe, even when they had no proof it would work. You don't need certainty to move forward, you need belief. Belief that you can grow, change, evolve, and rise. Belief that your story doesn't end where the pain started. Belief that your future can look nothing like your past, if you're willing to think differently and act boldly. This is where your power comes from, choosing to live by possibility instead of by limitation. It's a mindset shift, and it's one that will radically change the way you make decisions. When you believe in what's possible, you stop settling for what's familiar. You stop clinging to comfort zones and start chasing growth. You stop letting fear lead and you let vision guide you instead. And even when doubt creeps in, because it will, you remind yourself, possibility is always present. No matter how far you've fallen, no matter how long you've waited, no matter what anyone has said, your future is not fixed. It's flexible. It bends in the direction of your choices, your mindset, and your belief. That's what makes it powerful. That's what makes you powerful. So don't just dream of what's possible, decide to build it. One step, one choice, one belief at a time. The future is waiting, and it becomes real the moment you believe it can. The 5-second rule is a simple but incredibly powerful tool that helps you interrupt negative thought patterns and shift your focus back to the present moment. When you catch yourself dwelling on the past, spiraling in self doubt, or overthinking something you already can't change, the 5-second rule gives you a way out. All you do is count backward 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then take action. It sounds simple, but it's grounded in neuroscience and works because it disrupts your brain's habit loop and gives you just enough space to choose a different direction. Most people don't realize how often they live in their heads. They replay old conversations, beat themselves up for past decisions, or obsess over mistakes. That mental loop is exhausting and unproductive, but the 5-second rule breaks that loop. It forces your brain to stop focusing on the past and re-engage with the present. And once you're back in the present, you're in a position to do something different, something better. That's where your power lies, not in the past, but in your ability to act now. Using the 5-second rule is like building a mental muscle. The more you use it, the stronger your ability to shift your mindset becomes. Let's say you suddenly remember a failure or feel regret creeping in. Your chest tightens, your mind starts to race, and you begin sinking into that emotional quicksand. This is your cue. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe and shift. Do something constructive. Go for a walk. Journal your thoughts. Start a task that moves you toward your goals. Even a tiny step is a victory because it changes your emotional state and reminds your brain that you are in control. The key is consistency. The first few times you use the 5-second rule, it might feel weird or forced. But over time, your brain starts to get it. It starts to understand that you are retraining your focus, reprogramming your mindset, and choosing action over rumination. That's when real transformation starts. The more you take action, the less power your past holds over you. You begin to build confidence, not from thinking positively, but from proving to yourself that you can move forward despite how you feel. The most successful people in the world aren't immune to fear, regret, or negative thoughts. They've just learned how to manage them. Tools like the 5-second rule are how you do that. They turn moments of weakness into moments of strength. They take you from emotional paralysis to intentional movement, and over time, that movement adds up. It becomes progress. It becomes growth. So the next time your mind tries to pull you back into the past, remember, you don't have to stay there. You have the power to reset your focus and move forward. Just count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and act. That single decision could be the start of everything you've been waiting for. Conclusion. Here's a powerful conclusion that ties together all the key points from the speech. Focus on your future, not your past. No matter where you've been, no matter what you've faced, or how many times you've failed, you are not your past. You are the possibility of who you can still become. Yes, your past may have shaped you, but it does not define your future. And if you keep letting it control your thoughts, your decisions, and your confidence, you'll stay stuck in a story that no longer serves you. It's time to take your power back. Regret is heavy, but you don't have to carry it anymore. You don't need to keep looking back and wishing things had been different. What matters now is what you choose to do next. Because your future isn't built by the weight of your memories, it's built by the actions you take today. Let go of what's been. Make peace with what you can't change, and shift your focus to what you can control this moment, this mindset, this decision. Your possibilities are bigger than your past. Your power is in your present, and your future, it's still yours to create. So take a breath, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move, not for who you were, but for who you're ready to become, because the future belongs to those brave enough to focus forward and never look back.